mourning.
Teamsakpase, what's going on, world? Welcome to another episode of the Teamsakpase podcast. My name is Glad.
And I'm your boy, Rob. We are your favorite Teamsakpase podcast show where we interview great entrepreneurs from all sectors of industry. Remember, subscribe, share, comment below. Subscribe, share, comment below. Glad. Happy New Year, brother.
Is it a Happy New Year?
Well, I know.
Happy New Year. It is Happy New Year.
It's Happy New Year.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
Wow.
By popular demand. No?
No, by popular demand.
No, by popular demand.
For sure. Subscribers are bubbling.
Subscribers are bubbling.
And we appreciate you guys watching and subscribing.
We definitely appreciate the audience, man.
Definitely.
We thank you. We always thank you every day. We're grateful. Definitely
Absolutely. Grateful. But the new year didn't start that well for us, did it?
It did not. It definitely did not. We had a lot of personal stuff as far as death.
Yeah.
You know,
and
death.
It's crazy how it happened.
Yeah, man. It was, so my aunt passed away, God rest her soul, on January 1st, literally. And then a week later.
Yeah, January 11th.
10 days, yeah.
So it's 10 days, right?
Yeah. So
1/11, Dad, my father, passes away. And, you know, he was battling pneumonia. Rest in peace, Dad. We love you, JCL. But, you know, Dad was going, you know, he was declining for the last 5-6 years.
Yeah, your dad was going through some stuff,
he
man.
Was going
I
through it.
remember that, like, for
a
while, too.
Yeah, it was a big transition in the family.
Yeah.
It was tough. You know, we lost Mom back in 2010.
Yeah.
That's never easy, but now Dad is gone, so you know you don't have a parent. You don't have parents anymore. You know what I mean? So it's tough. It's tough because, you know, just used to going to see Dad, visiting Dad. You know, I'm starting to get choked up just talking about it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But you know, it's tough on us, me, my sisters. It's really tough because you know you do stuff like this to keep you busy, right? The podcast. We went to an event the other day, but then when you're by yourself, you know you've got these thoughts about Dad, and it's just tough, bro. It's tough. So Dad was 78, and he had a bad case of pneumonia, but you know it wasn't. It's something that when you know it's gonna happen. Or you try to prepare yourself. You try to prepare yourself because you know it's going to happen down the line because his health was declining. And so, but then when it actually happens and you get that news, it hits you like a ton of bricks.
That phone call.
Oh, bro. It's crazy, bro.
But what's the crazy part, I mean, was the fact that, if you don't mind me sharing, I know when you called me, you told me how your dad was heading over to hospice.
Yes.
And that was kind of like, okay, I could hear it in your voice. I heard it in your voice, and he was literally there for about an hour before he passed. Or
he was there overnight.
Overnight,
yeah,
correct.
But he didn't spend 24 hours in hospice.
That's crazy.
Like he literally was transferred over there later on that evening. You know, we went to go see him, and literally the next morning around 10:15, 10:20, I get the call like he passed away. So it's like he just wanted a private place for him to just be by himself to transition, because he was in the hospital. He had a lot of faces in him and doctors. He had tubes in, you know. It was just crazy and it was a beautiful hospice, you know. And he was comfortable. He definitely was comfortable for him to transition. But again, to hear the news that's you know, tough. He passed away, it's really tough. And it just, everything around you just stops, right? We stop recording, we stop planning, you know. You were going through the stuff with your aunt. You're helping the family plan the funeral. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Man, so Tati, she passed away on the 1st. So it was crazy because prior to that, a few months behind, but a few months I say like before Thanksgiving, she was suffering. She retired. Let me give you the full story. She had she was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer.
Mm-hmm.
She retired 2 years ago, 66, 65, and it was kind of like a transition because she went to Florida to visit her brother for a month, came back literally after she retired. She went to Florida and came back a month later
Mm-hmm.
in September, and she was diagnosed with that.
Wow.
And they literally said, I remember my cousin telling me that, yeah, auntie, she's not doing well. Her all her insides are like done. So she went through chemo.
Mm-hmm.
The chemo really put a toll on her, and and the family. And going through that transition was interesting because her mindset was what was motivating
Mm.
to see someone go through that. But then she was still like, my aunt is that she was that person. Like she tells you how it is direct.
Mm-hmm.
And, she's the kind of person that she's the joker.
Mm-hmm.
She comes into the middle of the room and she's telling you how it is, but jokingly and all kinds of stuff. Great energy, great personality. But when she found out about it, she just kept that motivation. She kept that personality. She kept that, you know,
Yeah, for herself and for the
for
family.
herself. And yeah.
Yeah.
But then it really hit me was when I texted her on Thanksgiving. She couldn't make it. She was weak.
Wow.
So I texted her while we were all at my cousin's house. And I texted her. I said, "Hey, Tati, we miss you." She didn't reply. And that's when I found out, like a couple of days later, that she's not doing well at all. Then she started going, the doctor's visits, the chemo stopped, the doctor visits increased.
Mm-hmm.
And she was not breathing right. A couple of times that happened towards the end to like, around the beginning of December or so. And then going to the hospital, I would say like once a week.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even compare it to what her children were going through. My cousins, I look at them like my sisters
Right.
and my
But she
my
was like a
brother.
second mom to you,
She
right?
was like a second mom to me. So her not being in certain events, she's we have a family thread as well. Her not responding and her joking, in certain things. Um, I was just like, dag, man, like this is crazy. And the the part of me that I'd never wanted to see was her suffering.
Yeah.
I was there, and you can relate.
Yeah.
I was there alone one night with her, and they had the oxygen mask
Mm-hmm.
on her face,
Mm-hmm.
and she literally, my aunt was that, like that tough kind of woman,
Yeah.
and she, to her, even in her deathbed, like she literally was trying to fight the nurse to take the oxygen mask
Mm.
and fight me.
Wow.
So she was looking at me. The way she was looking at me, she was like, "I'm tired." You know what I'm saying? I'm tired, and
Tired of the suffering.
just tired of the suffering, the pain, and I just felt helpless. I couldn't even. I'm
Yeah.
getting chills talking about it,
Yeah.
and I couldn't even help her. And I said, "Are you, Tati? You need this to breathe," and she was just like, "Just let it, just let it. I'm tired." She told me this.
Wow.
She's like, "I'm tired. I'm over." Like it was hard for her to even say that. And she had all these, these tubes and the oxygen mask, and the way she was breathing, she's in and out, breathing in and out, and it was tough to see that. And I was like, dang, here we are complaining about the little things,
Mm-hmm.
but here's someone here, your dad, my aunt, in bed, in their deathbed, gasping for air.
Definitely.
And it's that's why I'm just like there were times when I was just staring at her. She's staring at me with her eyes open, but it was blank. So that's when I kind of was just like, yeah, she's ready for the transition.
Yeah.
Like it takes you to a different mindset to see someone, taking their last breath. And then to fast forward, so I went home, and then literally, so my mom came up from Florida. She to come visit my aunt, because she was just like, my mom had like that intuition also. So she came up and she was just like, I need to see my sister. So my mom came up that Friday, and I think Monday was New Year's Day.
New Year's Day.
Yeah.
I think it was Monday. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we left my mom at the hospital. We all left. And the doctor called my cousin and said, you need to come visit her because she's, maybe in the next 48 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So we left, and then literally like 2 hours later, I got the phone call.
It's crazy, man. Yeah.
So it's
and when you got the call, how did like stunned, shocked?
It was stunned. I was preparing myself because my cousins kind of like were prepping, everything, but still, man, I just sat up on the bed. I sat up in the bed. I remember the night before I fell asleep, I was watching some videos of her birthday. She had a birthday party. We had a birthday party for her over the summer in June, and just watching those videos, I just felt something. I just felt that this, like, within a day, she's gonna. And I got up. I stood up on the bed. I sat up on the bed, and I just kind of got like a strength of like, okay, we need to go.
Yeah.
But just I saw the same way with my grandmother. Like, just seeing the body there,
tough,
bro.
It's tough, man. It's tough. There's really no words to describe it, because you grew up with these people. You know what I'm saying? You spent good times with these people, and then now they're no longer here. You know, and to add to what you're saying with Dad, him declining, he was diagnosed with Parkinson's, right? And it didn't end from there. He just had a lot of health issues. I think they said he had a minor stroke. We didn't really see it, but they said that was part of his decline. And it didn't help that Dad was a heavy smoker too, most of his life. So when he caught the pneumonia, it was hard for him with the breathing with the lungs and everything like that. So we knew that was kind of like towards the end. But the last time, I was able to visit him, he was in good spirits. He was doing good. He wasn't walking anymore, but he was doing good. And again, I got the call, and this was during the holidays. As a matter of fact, it was the same day that he was admitted to the hospital, was the night of your father's 75th.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And so I'm there.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the best of times. It was a freezing night.
Yeah, that was the coldest. Yeah.
It was a cold night. But I made the best of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I remember.
Because it was a joyous moment, joyful moment, celebrating 75 years to your father. And I'm there like, my dad should be here celebrating with his friend. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously our parents, they're good friends. So I'm like, yo, my dad should be here. And he's in the hospital, all intubated.
Right.
And it was just hard for me to have fun.
Yeah. No, I get it, man.
It was tough.
And it was tough. And I appreciate you even being there during that time.
No doubt.
Because I know I had the conversation with Mimi, at the end. And she was just like, yeah, like, he's going through it. I was like, I know.
Yeah.
Like, I get it,
Yeah. And so let's fast forward, man, planning for a funeral, bro. I mean, this is what this conversation is about, really, death and planning. We've had a lot of people on here talk about health. We've had a lot of people on here, especially Storm Leroy, who's talked about getting a trust, making sure you got life insurance. And thank God, we prepared for that stuff. And I know you guys were prepared for that stuff. but
Yeah.
still planning for it. It's hard for you to mourn, right?
Yeah,
Because
well,
you're just as soon as you get the news, it's like, okay, you gotta start planning.
it's like on go.
It's on go.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like after everything is over, that's when I guess the mourning kind of starts, right? Because again, you go through your emotions of the day. You know, we're recording again, but then when you get back in the car, you know, you may just have a quick moment about dad, and you're like, "Yo, damn, he's really not here anymore."
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. That I remember catching a moment. So my cousin, shout out my cousin Joanne. So she had everyone was at the house, you know, and after the repast, and everyone was jumping around and just having a good time. I posted some crazy videos.
Bro, I saw that. I want to talk to you about that.
Ooh, Lord.
So the the planning, like your aunt wanted something specific, right? And like you're us as Haitians, right? We usually do things the long way.
Very long.
Right? So the funeral was the traditional wake, right?
Yeah.
You had the wake,
Mm-hmm.
and then the next morning you had like a church service.
It was a church service.
And then after that, you go to the funeral to bury Tati, right?
Yep.
And then
The
after
repast.
that, you do like the official repast.
Yep. And then after that, you have
And then there's a
repast after party.
And that's when the family goes ballistic.
Bro. People were DMing me.
Bro.
Like is
That's
it your aunt's birthday? I was like, no.
I was
Bro,
watching it. I'm like,
it was crazy.
It was crazy.
But here's a crazy thing. It's because here's the thing too. You know how they say funeral bring people together.
Yeah.
Brings family and close friends together. Mm-hmm. So that's exactly what happened. Because we haven't seen each other. We haven't been in a room like that, in an environment like that in years.
Your family's wild, by the way.
Yeah.
On the 23rd, bro?
Ooh, Lord.
Nah, y'all family know how to.
My father's side is.
Y'all know how to party. Continue.
So like my mom's side,
mm-hmm.
you know, so that's, we haven't seen each other in a while. So we kind of got together at my cousin's house, and it just literally it was just like being ourselves, man. And
guys are wild. Man.
We'd know Tati would love that.
Right.
She would be in the mix. That's when I had my moment, bro. I was like, you know, we were dancing, you know, Anita and I were dancing, having a good time. Everyone's eating. Bro, I sat down, and that's when it hit me. Like, I just kind of like moved myself away, you know, just gently, and just sat down. And I was just like, wow, Tati should be here.
Yeah. It hits everybody
it's weird,
differently.
Right?
It hits everybody differently, bro.
When did you kind of, because talk about your dad's funeral was totally different from how
it was different because it was
like in and
out one-shot deal. My dad was one-shot deal, bro.
Yeah,
it was
I don't mean to laugh, but the way he told me on the phone, he's like, yo, it's gonna be a one-shot deal, in and out. I was like, dude, like it's your dad's funeral.
That's the way
he's like, you know, Dad.
That's the way Dad would want it. Dad's really low key.
Yeah, he was definitely
very low key, and you know, we discussed as a family what we wanted to do, and we said, you know what, we're just gonna keep it really simple, and we're gonna do closed casket. You know, the family, the immediate family, so my sisters, my aunt, my niece and nephew, you know, Daphne's husband, my aunt, and Alvin. We were there to see him, you know, before they officially closed the casket.
Oh, okay.
You know, so, and Dad would have wanted it like that.
Right.
And we did a church service, so it was a one-shot deal, you know, and that's how he would have wanted. But for me, when it hit me, I mean, you know, you can say 5 to 6 years prior, right? Because when you get the news that Dad is diagnosed with Parkinson's, you're like, damn, he's never going to be the same, right? But when it really, really hit me was when he was intubated, and they said, you know, I don't know if you know, but they took the tubes out one time, and they said, you know, the doctors, they're always going to recommend that you don't put it back, right? They was gonna recommend that, but
Right.
I said no. Try it again. Like if he needs help breathing, try to intubate him again, because they're not gonna let you keep him intubated for very so long. But if it's gonna help him with his breathing, we're trying to do everything to keep him alive at this point, right?
Right.
And if you guys take out the tubes and it's not helping, yes, put it back in. That's what we would like as a family.
Oh, okay.
So we did that, and they said, well, this is gonna be the last try. We're gonna try. So that's when it hit me that Sunday when I said, today they're gonna take out the tubes for the last time. So it's either he's breathing on his own or he's gonna be gone in the next few days.
I remember that.
And I remember texting you on the way. I said, today may be the last day. I don't know.
Yeah.
And it hit me because Mimi was like, "Do you mind if I play some church music, some gospel music?"
Okay.
I said, "Sure, it's fine." We get to the hospital. The gospel music starts playing. Mimi starts bawling because she's seeing Dad suffering.
She's been there. She's
been there.
Yeah.
Christina's there with me. She starts bawling. Guess what I do? I lose it, bro. Because I'm trying to keep her strong, and that's when I bought. I'm holding his hand.
Right.
And at that time, we're waiting for the doctors to do the intubation, but we said not yet because we wanted a pastor to come, a priest to come, and pray over him to make sure that he was good. And that happened, and I was bawling even more because I'm like, oh my God, this could be it.
Right.
So they did. That was the hardest day when they did the excavation, is what they call it. He was breathing on his own, but it wasn't easy. He's got the oxygen mask on, and it's just tough. And I just remember we just went to a diner after that, and it was like just a tough day. And then that Wednesday he passed. It was tough, bro. It was tough. And again, like I said, when he passed, that's when it's like hustle and bustle and go and trying to figure out, contacting family in Haiti, and everybody's all over the place, seeing who could make it and what kind of service are we gonna do to show respect and make sure he has a good service. What I'm saying? Yeah. So one shot deal for Dad, and that's the way he would have liked it. That's the way he would have liked it. But again, what we were saying to the point of, and what this really the essence of this conversation is about is planning for death. There's a lot of us in our community and Black people in general who they're not prepared. They're not prepared to have this conversation.
No.
And while you're in good health, in good spirits, yes, it's good to take vacations. Yes, it's good to work and make money. Yes, it's good to go out and have fun with your friends. But are you having these conversations with your family about preparing for death? Like, what are you going to do? Do you have a will in place? Do you have a trust in place? Do you have life insurance in place? Again, like I said, thank God we've had all of that stuff in place, before. We took action right away. Like after Mom died, we didn't have a will. We didn't have none of that stuff. But my sisters and I made sure that we had the will, power of attorney, all of that stuff, trust in place to make sure the house was protected, all that stuff,
Absolutely.
And then when somebody like a Storm Leroy comes on, and he says what he says, right? Because Storm's gonna give it to you straight, no chaser. When somebody like that comes on, you say, damn, I didn't do enough. Right? You're like, I did a lot of it, but it could have been,
I need to do more.
I could have done a lot more with the planning. We got the basics down pat, but we could have done more. Right? And so, again, I'm happy that we were able to plan for that, but are we having the conversation?
That's a tough question, bro. I know for me, as I'm getting older, I feel that it's okay to talk about it. I've accepted it. Where death is, it's everyone has an expiration date.
Yes.
People are out here thinking they're gonna live eternally. Like, it doesn't work that way.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like certain things that you see as you get older because of the experiences, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times in your life have you seen death? You know how that saying, death flashes, and I just saw my life flash in front of me because of something that literally it took 2 seconds. It could have turned the wrong way.
Yeah.
So I am accepting it. I am a big, strong believer in, talking to my family on both sides, creating creating like LLCs within the family, creating trust, talking about will, because I'm still learning.
Mhm.
Because there's so many different dynamics in trust and wills,
Yeah.
and but it's a conversation that we must have. It's a conversation where our parents' generation now are dropping.
Right. And they didn't have that
They didn't
conversation.
have that
They did
conversation.
not.
It
Not at
was
all.
in. It was kind of like, and if they did, it wasn't with the children.
Right.
you know,
And a very small few percentage of,
very small.
I'm not gonna say nobody did, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm
No,
gonna
it
say
was
a
very
very small
small.
percentage of people really did have,
Right.
within a culture, really had that conversation with
Yeah.
their kids growing up, even at the young age of 16, 17. Like, look, this is what happens if mom or dad passes away right now.
Right.
These are the things that are in place, and these are the things you're gonna have to start learning
Right.
about, getting life insurance and having a trust to protect the house and things of that nature.
Like I've seen siblings go like
Oh,
face to face
oh,
because mom said, dad said,
and there's nothing in
there's
writing.
nothing in writing. I'm the oldest. I'm the one that's going to take care of it. I'm the one. No.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So other cultures, the majority of them do talk about it. They have a will, they have a trust, but we need to start educating ourselves. We need to start. This is another reason. This is another reason why we have this platform is, I would say, like a calling, because there are certain things that happen. I have to say, in my household, certain things that happen within me personally, that I experience, and I was just like, damn, I need to talk about it.
We have to talk about
We have to talk about it. We have to talk about real estate. We have to talk about death. We have to life insurance, wills, and trust. And we're using this platform to kind of like talk about it in a way where it's like, okay, this is an educational platform. It's a space where we could bring somebody in, talk about life insurance. We could talk about the trust, where you can take out life insurance on the trust.
Yep.
You can create an LLC with your family, literally with your cousins, getting together with your cousins, creating an LLC, calling it whatever you want to call it, but at least you have something. One of your cousins have a business, you can create a loan towards that business,
and you become the bank.
and you become the bank. The family becomes the bank, charges interest on that individual with the business. So that way it's just, now I'm thinking about my daughter's kids and their kids.
Yep.
Like just literally planting the seeds.
That's it. Everything that Storm Leroy has been talking about, you guys gotta go back and check out his episode. Shout out to Storm Leroy.
Yeah, man.
It's very, very important. And shout out to my sisters, because one of the best compliments that I've gotten along, planning, is that I've heard people say, family members and my fiance say that, big shout out to you and your sisters for being on the same page, and
Bro, yes.
kind of always kind of looping each other in, because there was just so many missing parts, or not missing parts, so many moving parts that were happening, right? Do we want prayer cards for? Do we want flowers?
Bro,
do we want this? Do we want? And I wanted to make sure that we were all. Do we want programs? I just want to make sure that everybody was on the same page, because it was a lot.
And the thing is,
when you're sitting there in the funeral
you have
home,
a week,
bro.
You have a week to plan all of this.
It's crazy, bro.
Paperwork, calling,
you got to call the insurance company. You got to,
Like, thank God I still have both my parents, but the day that comes, bro.
Got to start having the conversation, sitting down with them, and it's got to be, it's got to be all laid out. Now, one of the things, let me ask you a personal question. Have you thought about, when it's time for Rob, big R-O-B, when it's time for you to transition, have you thought about how would you like to be buried?
Yes.
Mausoleum, cremated, buried 6 feet under. Like, have you thought about it?
I've thought about it. Yeah, and especially just recently with my aunt, because I was just looking at her when she was going 6 feet under.
Oof. Tough.
So here's the funny situation.
It's tough.
We're in the funeral home choosing a coffin
Bro.
from my aunt.
Let's talk about it.
Joe,
I'm laughing about it now.
we have to talk. I know you've been through this. And shout out to you.
God. We got to get Joel a mic.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
he could, if he wants to interject about something, a little like a lavalier, we got to get you.
Absolutely.
So if you want to kind of jump in.
At any time.
Yeah, I'm tired of the head nods.
Yeah. Yes.
But go ahead.
Yes. No, I mean, so we're sitting at the table and huge business.
It's a big
If
business.
you're in the funeral business, bro.
Big business.
He's coming in.
We got to interview somebody. He's part of a funeral home. But go ahead.
He's coming in. He's sitting there, and I'm grateful that my cousins even said, "Yo, cuz, because I want you there." You know what I'm saying? Because that's something very private, whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there. It's my mom, myself, and my 3 cousins, and he's sitting there. Okay, so
sorry for your loss.
Sorry for your loss. He's, sorry for your loss. Okay, but let's get to business.
Oh my God.
This is what we have. This is how we want to do it. These are the cards. He's pulling out albums, books.
Oh.
Do you want your picture? Do you want your aunt's picture on here?
Prayer
do you want
card,
your prayer
program.
card? How do you want it? Blue, white, green? What was her favorite color? I'm sitting there like this. So he's sitting next to me, and I'm just watching him like, this is a business.
Big business, bro.
This is a business. Is this mic falling or is I'm fine? Okay, cool. So I was like, I'm sitting there, I'm looking at him. My goddamn monsieur, man. How many of these conversations that he had today?
Revolving door,
bro. So he gets up and he's like, okay, you guys ready? We're gonna go choose the coffin now. My mom was like, oh.
The big Haitian.
Yeah, the big Haitian. Oh,
they're downstairs.
Yeah, but it was literally next door.
Oh, it was next door. Where I was at, they had their spot downstairs.
Yeah, my grandmother had hers downstairs.
The coffin
was it
setup.
cold? Was it cold?
It was a little chill.
It was chill, right? I was like,
it was freaky, bro.
Yo, it was freaky. Yeah. Quiet.
Nice setup.
My grandmother's was like that.
It was like a showroom.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Different prices.
And I'm talking about, I saw a coffin for 15 grand. Yeah. The lowest day I saw was like 3 grand. I know forget about it.
They rent coffins now.
They rent, yes.
You know that, right? They rent coffins.
Yes.
That's at least like $3,200, $3,300.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. So that business, hey, God bless you if you want to get into it. Not me. So we're walking in and I was just like, wow. That's when I really said, do I want this? Bro, I like kind of veer up to the side and I'm looking at the coffin and I'm like touching and I'm like, do I want it? I'm not even, I was just like, do I want a pillow? And my mother was like, my mom was like, what are you doing? so I was like, I don't know. I was just touching I was like, do I really? And then we just started laughing. And we were just like, oh, this is what Tati would say right now. She was like, would you guys hurry up? Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's get me out of here. So I don't know. Like, I think I want a big party.
Okay.
Of course. I want a huge party. I want everyone to remember, the laughing and the joking, the CW post days.
Mm-hmm. But you still
6
haven't
feet
answered.
under is one thing. Mm-hmm. So the guy mentioned to us, he was like, so here's the thing. You go 6 feet under, let's say there's a huge tornado in Brooklyn, New York, wherever you want to go.
I haven't thought about that.
There's a huge tornado.
Wow.
All these coffins get flooded. Every coffin, there's water in the coffins. He said literally just like that to us. It really doesn't matter if you get wood or not wood. I said, Jesus Christ.
Wow. Natural disasters we haven't
Natural disasters.
What if a crazy tornado?
Bro,
you just never know.
It's a cemetery. It rains. There's grass, there's dirt, there's rain that's going into these coffins.
Wow.
Wood, like they have wooden coffins that just disintegrates, literally, because of the temperature,
Right, and the earth, and
the
it's
earth,
yeah,
and
and it just yeah.
So I'm sitting there like, yo, this is intriguing. What do I want?
Have you made that decision?
I have not, but I don't want to be cremated.
You don't want to be cremated.
I don't.
Great segue, but wait, why?
I just feel that. Like our bodies are precious. Not to say that cremating is, I just feel that this it's just a thing about burning my body that I'm not really crazy about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not crazy about me, just I guess because I'm just visualizing the whole process.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, look, just bury me 6 feet under. You don't have to.
So you're okay with that?
Yeah, I'm cool. Yeah, why not? 6 feet under. I'm 6'5". If I want to get up, go grab a.
Your spirit is not there anymore, bro. You ain't getting back up.
I'm 6'5". See, they talk about 6 feet under.
You ain't getting back up.
I got 5 inches up. I go grab a sandwich and a drink, and I go back into my coffin. What do you? How about you? Have you thought about it?
I don't know, bro. Honestly.
Wow. I'm surprised.
Well, you know what?
I'm surprised.
I think I'm gonna do what my mom got. Put me in the mausoleum.
Why is that?
Well, mom never wanted to be 6 feet under. She said, pabit mo bate. That was her biggest thing, which she got from her mother, my grandmother. Pabit mo bate. Do not put me underground. Do not put me 6 feet under. So that was out of it. She said, this is what I want whenever I go. So she knew what she wanted 100%. Dad didn't really care. And I have a story about that because we actually knew what he did want it. So I think I'll do a mausoleum, bro. I'm not too fond about cremation myself.
Mm-hmm.
So we're planning for Dad's funeral, and none of us wanted Dad to go 6 feet under. Right. So really we had two choices left. It was mausoleum, cremation. And we were trying to figure it out. I don't know if people know out there, but the mausoleum is a lot of money.
It's
bro.
Expensive.
I mean, we were prepared for it.
Right.
Right. But it was a lot of money.
It is expensive.
And I remember the check that was cut for mom's mausoleum and grandma's mausoleum. And that was years ago. Right. So we're talking about the worth of 2023 money right now. It's a lot of money. It went up. Yesterday's price is not today's price.
Definitely not.
It went up if you want to be in a mausoleum, 100%. So we said, what better person would know what Dad wanted? Just to confirm, because we were trying to figure it out, right? Because that was not, he didn't have a will, but we did have power of attorney.
Okay.
Right. So, we spoke to his best friend, his godfather. No, my godfather.
Oh, okay.
Pioneer. And he said that's what he would want, is to be cremated.
Wow.
And this is a conversation my dad never had with us.
Really?
But he said that's what he would want it. That's what he would want. And that's what actually our godfather wants too. He wants to be cremated.
He wants to be cremated.
So
interesting.
I'll say our godfather, my godfather. So that's what we gave Dad what he wanted. You know what I mean? It wasn't an easy thing, but if that's what they wished, if that's what they wanted, then that's what they wanted.
Interesting.
I
mean, Joe, was your mom buried or cremated or? She was cremated. Yeah. I mean, how would you want to go? I mean, is that the right question? Is that the right way to, how do you want to go?
Yeah.
For me,
how would you want to be buried?
Yeah, there you go.
You would want to what?
I'm okay with being cremated.
You're okay with being cremated?
Or if I want to get fancy, do one of those turn me into a tree thing.
Wow.
Yeah. I've been hearing a lot about that.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, the body, when you pass away, the body becomes part of the earth again, right? It becomes ashes. It's ashes to ashes, dust to dust in a sense. That's what basically happens is, the spirit's not there anymore. You've transitioned to a different dimension.
Do we really know that?
We're not going to know that until we're not going to officially know that until we die. But that's what we're taught. That's what we know. But
that's what we know.
So you believe the spirit still lives within the body?
No. I'm just saying, like, I just wanted to ask that as just a general topic, because I was just, the way that I look at someone is being buried in a coffin, like, all of this doesn't matter. Jewelry, cash, bank account, cars, house, all of that stuff, it doesn't matter anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my aunt was a big Knicks fan.
Mm-hmm.
She was a huge Knicks fan. And so we bought, so the family put like what do you call it? Like I want to say like a rug, not a rug, but it was a blanket, a Knicks blanket, the Knicks logo, very nice. So we, they tucked it into the coffin, and I was just sitting there. I was just like, does that really matter? I don't know. But, not in that sense. We're paying respect to what she liked.
You're just paying respect to what.
We're paying respect to her.
What they wanted. Yeah.
What they wanted. I get it. But I was just like, dude, like, I'm sitting there and I'm just like, man, these things, like, everything that we're fighting about, all this materialistic stuff that we're fighting about, that we want to be in social media and, cropping our image and all that stuff doesn't matter, bro.
Nah, it doesn't.
It, at the end of the day, and I'm just thinking in my mind, like, what is that next transition? Like, do we transition into another form of life that's, I grew up in a religious household.
Mm-hmm.
And they talk about that in Revelation.
You're getting real deep right now.
In Revelations. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just trying to figure out, like, okay, like, I'm thinking about my aunt, my grandmother, my grandfather, my other aunts. Are, like, where are they? Are they?
Yeah.
I
ask myself that question too sometimes. I'm like, so where's Dad right now? You know what I mean? But I think, look, we all come to, it's all about experience.
Right.
Meaning we come here to learn.
Mm-hmm.
This is a spiritual experience that we're having in a body. And we come here to learn, to evolve. And that's what it is. And it was written, like you said, we all have our expiration date of when we're ready to say, you know what, we've learned enough.
Mm-hmm.
And it's time for us to transition to the next life. What that is, how it's formed, what it turns into, what we turn into, I do not know. We'll find out when we get there. But I do know for a fact that, we're here in this awesome world learning from each other, right?
Yep.
And I think, just from our experiences living the life that we're living, that materialistic things at the end of the day don't mean anything. And that's what the essence of this program or this show is about, or this episode is, kind of telling people out there, our followers, even if there's nothing that you do, just at least start doing the research. Don't listen to us, but just go out there and just try to find ways to be as best prepared for yourself and your family, because when we transition, they still have to live in this life.
Yeah.
In the rules and however it's made up, right?
Yeah.
So planning is important, and doing that research, again, go to our episodes about health. Health is an important factor too, because if we're really trying to enjoy this life and the experiences of this life, we sometimes, we get into that hustle and bustle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we talk so much about entrepreneurship, because it's the one avenue in this life that gives you the option to think.
Right. Yeah.
You can think, you can be better at other things or focus on other things.
Right.
And health is something that you can sometimes focus on when you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Because you create your own schedule and stuff like that.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
Like you create your own schedule. You create you're able to think on your own.
Yes.
You're not in that robotic life.
Yep.
Of
and
that.
yeah, I agree, but I don't want to take away from people who may not want to strive to be entrepreneurs.
Right. It's not for everyone.
It's not, and you can still live a healthy lifestyle.
Right.
Having a 9-to-5. It could be a 9-to-5 job that you're passionate about. Maybe you're not passionate, but I guess what I'm trying to say is, whatever you're doing, try to create new habits to live a better, healthy lifestyle than where you at now.
Yeah.
That's something I'm trying to focus on.
Yeah, so am I.
I'm trying to do, like,
it's tough, bro.
It's like, it's out there, you know what you need to do, but you're just not consistent at doing it.
Yeah.
Right?
I can't be in a mindset over everything hoodie at a McDonald's. Like,
nah, bro, you can't.
Bruh. What are you doing?
Bro,
what
if
are you
I see
doing?
you at a McDonald's, bro,
what are you doing?
Nah, we're not doing that.
Mindset over everything.
We too old for that.
But I need that Big Mac.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
No.
We're doing smoothies now and salads and things like that.
Yeah.
To kind of keep us, you know what I'm saying? Lean
yeah,
out
and I'm I talk about it a lot to my family.
Mm-hmm.
They make fun of me because I don't eat the griot. I can't do it. I'm sorry. It's been over 15 years for me.
Yeah.
Beef, I'm cutting back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I've even introduced it to my parents. My parents now are kind of like, oh, it's too much, and they're getting that vitamin D in Florida every day, and
that's good.
Especially my dad. Like, that guy is just,
he's focused.
He's focused.
Your dad looks great, bro.
Thank you, man. And the guy, he inspires me because he's walking every day.
That's good.
I don't know if he's still riding his bike, but he's been riding a bike, going to the gym, staying active, as a retiree. So it's something like that. I'm just like, I don't want to. Here's the thing, and I didn't even talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
This is what really, really is pushing me. This is my drive, one of my drives. My aunt worked for an employer for 41 years of her life.
Wow. It's a lot.
41 years.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until after that she retired. This is my parents too. Like, it wasn't until after they retired they were able to, like, literally go back and kind of like do a vacation for themselves and have a vacation for themselves and just kind of enjoy life, because they came here, literally worked more than 70% of their lives. And I was just like, no. I just don't understand. Like, they waited till they're 65 to enjoy life.
You gotta enjoy life now, man. That's you gotta work on. You're gonna go to work, but that's something that you gotta do. You gotta put that into your schedule.
Yeah.
Vacation, enjoy life. You gotta do extracurricular activities, because the life is not all about the working. And I think that's where it's not a good thing.
It's not. It just didn't sit right with me. I was just looking at it, like, just thinking about it, like, why? 65, 62, early retirement, 65.
Yeah.
And then by 65, 60, your knees are swollen. You're going through arthritis.
Yeah.
You're dealing with headaches. You're dealing with grandkids. Like, at this point in time, you should be traveling. You should be doing it, like.
Yep.
Like, to me, like, God bless the younger generation, because they're kind of seeing it. They kind of see it now.
They're very entrepreneurial.
Yeah,
they got that entrepreneurial spirit.
They definitely got the spirit.
They'll probably do a hustle for a few years, but they're trying to find a way to have a sustainable business and really take things to the next level on that side, and really have a good quality of life and really enjoy it for themselves. Because when you're in that mode where you can't even have a vacation, that's when you're in that survival mode. And that's and I think that's why we kind of push entrepreneurship on our podcast and our show, is because it gives you an option to have a better quality of life.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Yeah. It's one thing about, and I see people, we know people that have businesses. They are working in their business as opposed to working on their business.
Great point.
They do not make the entrepreneurship lifestyle look good.
Great point, man. We could keep going. We could keep going on and on about this. Give me your final bar. I'll give you mine.
Ooh, my final bar. Find your purpose. Find your purpose in life. Find something in life that makes you happy, not someone. You yourself should be happy within yourself. Find a purpose to reach that goal, reach that, find a purpose in life. That's it. Just find a purpose.
My final bar would basically be, life is short, right? Enjoy it. Make the best of it. I try my best to make the best of it. Follow your dreams. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't be, or that you can't do or have anything that you want. You surely can. You have the seeds of greatness. Go out there and make it happen. All you have to do is just start. That's what we push. All you got to do is just start to make your dreams happen. And in that process, take care of yourself, take care of the people around you. And that's how you build an awesome community. And I guess lastly, when it comes to a conversation about death, talk to your family members. Get prepared. Be prepared. Talk about the will, the power of attorney, the trust. Set your family up right. Life insurance is not meant to be only used when you die.
Mm-hmm.
Life insurance is used to also be used while you're still alive, right? And we can do that. Go back to the episode with Storm Leroy. Again, shout out to Storm Leroy. It's a very powerful tool. Again, I'm happy that your family was set up right. My family was set up right. Like, we prepared, right?
Mm-hmm.
We could have been better prepared, right? But we were prepared, and so. Yeah, man, just live life, be prepared, and have the conversation about death. Because it's inevitable.
It's part of life.
It's part of life. It's
part
gonna
of
happen.
life. Yeah.
So everybody out there who's listening, who's kind of maybe teetering and shy, don't know what to do, have the conversation. And if you don't know where to go, hit us up, right?
Yeah.
DM us, email us, reach out to us personally. We can steer you into the right direction for sure. So that's my final. It was pretty long, but that's my final bar.
Nah, you're good, bro. Housekeeping items.
Housekeeping items. That's your job.
Teamsakpase. Thank you for, actually, let me rewind that. Thank you to our sponsors.
No doubt.
Roots of Brooklyn,
ROB.
10Y TV.
Yes.
Thank you also to the new platform. We're grateful that we finally found a new home.
NY Beauty Suites. Thank you.
Shout out to you guys, NY Beauty Suites.
Yep.
Shout out Genesis and Joanne. Thank y'all.
No doubt.
We definitely appreciate the new home. And this is us, man. We haven't, literally, this is a conversation in the living room kind of.
No doubt.
Set
and we're
up.
gonna build it up. We're gonna, we're gonna fix something. This is just real bare, and we're gonna hook it up.
Yeah. And I have to say, shout out to the most important person in the room right now.
Oh, we already know who that is.
Joe, the ultimate, without him,
no doubt.
We definitely thank you, Joe. We appreciate you.
Bro, I say this all the time. There is no Teamsakpase podcast without Joe.
Without Joe.
Nah, thank you, Joe. We really appreciate you.
Yeah.
We're happy to get back, and we're recording again. This year's going to be an awesome year for us.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome year of growth. We've got a great lineup of people who are, looking to get on. Like I've always said, it's all about the scheduling.
Yeah.
Right? There's people that we've been talking to 2 years ago that we're still trying to get on. It's just scheduling.
It's all about scheduling. And I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah.
That we have people like that, that could, that want to come on the show.
Yeah.
But it definitely is all about the scheduling. We may even have to hire an intern to just do scheduling, period.
Yeah.
And just move forward with it.
Definitely.
because this is definitely picking up. We thank you, the audience. Thank you to all the subscribers. We appreciate you.
Oh, we bubbling.
We're bubbling, and thank you for our followers on the gram, social media platform. And yeah, man, like this is just the beginning. So, and we're not always going to talk about entrepreneurship. We're going to talk about other things as well. We're going to talk about personal lives that just happened. So, yeah, stay tuned, man. We got a lot more in store. And yeah, we're just evolving. This is just the beginning. Stay with us, and we appreciate it. We love y'all. Thank you.
No doubt. Teamsakpase.
We
We
out.
out. Till next time.
Beat.